All right, guys, when I divide fractions, there's two things to look at, right? I can have a fraction that looks something of this nature, which is this, okay? Which is regular with a division in the center. I can have it set up, and this is called a complex fraction. Okay, the key to dividing fractions is just like multiplying, but because we're dividing and division and multiplication are very closely related, they're inverses. So with a fraction, we keep our first fraction, we dot, right, to mean that we're multiplying, and then we're going to flip our second fraction. So the numerator goes to the bottom of the fraction and the denominator will go to the top of the fraction. So here's some examples. They kept the first term, they dotted, right, because we have division, they dotted, and then they flipped the second one, right? So keep, dot, flip. So keep, dot, flip is the key when you're doing division. Keep, dot, fit, flip. So first thing, set it up. This one, do I have to factor? No. I keep my first fraction, x minus 1 over x plus 4. I dot. I flip my second fraction, so the x plus 4 goes to the top, and the x plus 3 goes to the bottom, and I'm ready to go. The x plus 4, right, everything should be in parentheses, cancels out. So then I'm left with this x minus 1 over that x plus 3. Looking at my restrictions, it has to go back to the original. X cannot equal a negative 4 because that's what's going to make the bottom equal to a 0. Next example. Okay, I'm going to factor first. Looking at the top and what that factors into. I got x and I've got x. I need to get to a 6. But I also need to get to a 5. But it needs to be a positive 6 and that needs to be a negative. So both of those need to be a negative. Okay, what will multiply to 6? Well, I got 1 and 6, and I got 2 and 3. Both of those are going to get me to 5, one way or another, but both of them need to be a negative. The only thing that will get me there, if they're both negative, is that value. And then I get x plus 4 on the bottom. So I know right here, x cannot equal a negative 4 for that restriction. So over here, I keep, dot, flip. So I'm going to factor the top. That factors as a difference of squares. X plus 3, x minus 3. So I go x plus 3, x minus 3. I factor the bottom right here. That bottom factors into an x and an x. What will multiply to 4? Well, I got 4 and 1. If they're both positive, that will get me to a 5. Now that was on the bottom, so it needs to go to the top. All right, so here we go. On the top here, so we look here, zoom, 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 right? The bottom here, x can equal a negative 4 and a negative 1. So I have a negative 4, I just need to come over and write negative 1. Now it's time to cancel stuff out. This x plus 4 are going to cancel out. That x minus 3 is going to cancel out. So on the top, I'm left with an x minus 2, x plus 1, all over an x plus 3.